Today, I wanted to summarize my daily drawing warm-up routine. So, whenever I first began to draw in the day, I pretty much set aside the first 25 minutes to do a certain set of exercises to kind of warm me up. A big thing that I've always kind of been concerned with is line quality, but not focusing on pressure, and maybe that's something I need to work on more. But in general, when I first start, I do 5 minutes. I should just call it min. 5 minutes of straight lines, in which I put a starting and an ending dot, and I try to draw to connect them. And I'll do this like across the entire page, sometimes varying the length. And I'll do that for 5 minutes. I set a timer. You could use whatever timer that you want to, or like one that you find on Google. The one thing that I do recommend is finding a ending, like when the time is up for the timer, that it doesn't like scream at you, kind of just gives a nice calming ending sound, because I feel like you'll enjoy your warm-up more and it'll get you into the readiness of drawing if you don't have technology beeping and making ugly air raid sirens at you. Unless you're the type of person that likes air raid sirens yelling at you. Get help. No, I'm just kidding. The second exercise I do is S-curves. So it'll be 5 minutes of S-curves. Now, the one thing I feel like everyone gets wrong about S-curves is that they always have to be an S. They could be an opposite side S, but they kind of, I think of them as a longer flowing curve than a C curve. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to write this down. And S-curves, like practicing S-curves is important for gesture. Every living thing has like this gestural quality to it, and being able to draw certain S-curves can be very beneficial. Now, you could place 4 dots for this. You don't have to. It could help, but more often than not, I may observe like a piece of reference to look at as I do. And I think as you go doing this stuff, observing reference and drawing from it as a part of your warm-up routine could actually make it a lot more fun. And, instead of just like drawing dots all the time. I mean, you could do that if you want to and you don't have any reference. But I feel like trying to observe something and trying to mimic the S-curve from that could be really beneficial. And the other thing is, sometimes people may say, like it has to always just be one S, and I guess doing that could help simplify. But I feel like you could always extend it a little bit more if you want to. Like, you may run into things that are a little bit longer than an S, or like they may do one more turn. But I would say do it what makes it easiest for you. Sometimes when people are summarizing gesture, they may want to like do an S curve and then maybe finish it off with a C curve, which a C curve would be like the letter C. But you could do that. You don't have to. Do what makes you most comfortable. And I would say eventually you'll do it so much that it will become second nature and you won't have to think about it, which is the good news. And when you do that, you don't have to worry about thinking about it all the time. So yeah, the next exercise I do is I practice my circles. This is my app Thumbtastic. I just use it to quickly either reference images like I did with the mealworm here, or I could also like copy images. It's a lot faster than doing it other ways. But in short, with this, with this structure, which I got this image from drawbox.com. Now that I think about it, I can't believe I remembered where I got it from. But I will practice drawing circles within the bounds here. And okay, so I went over here. It's because I'm talking. I usually get them a lot more, like they're a lot more clean within the bounds when I execute them. But I have a hard time talking and drawing at the same time, or I may have to like stop talking to get it right. But in short, I try to keep within the bounds here, and I set a timer again for another 5 minutes of ellipses. And I try to fill every available area. And I don't just do the boring type. I do, I will like alternate it. Like here, I may do the ellipses of a thinner degree. And down here, I will try to tilt them. But the important thing is to kind of think about the degree you're trying to make for the given piece that you want to. You very well could observe some reference, and you could try to like maybe draw a container for your ellipses. Like you can maybe like draw a cylinder if you wanted to. You could always vary your ellipses, but like I said, it's totally up to you for how you want to incorporate your draw up routine. This is just what I do. But yeah, I went on a tangent there, but in short, like in that one, I would do ellipses like that. And over here, I would do ellipses kind of like that. And I'm still kind of bad at them after all these years, but practice, meaningful practice. Okay, so the next exercise I will do for 5 minutes is 5 minutes of C curves. C curves are, surprisingly, curves that are like in the shape of a C, but they could be faced the other way, they could be that way, they could be long, they don't have to, they could vary their width and height, but it could be helpful for certain aspects, or like trying to look at certain things, like revisiting a mealworm. I'm kind of looking at its face here. It's kind of like that. It's hard for me to summarize its face and a shape other than that. I know it's a bit different. The reference I have for this is a bit blurry, but usually I think of like that when I think of a mealworm. Or you could think of its tail. Kind of like does that. It's kind of like a C curve, you know? Or I don't think it would be called a tail, or just the end. There's probably a name for it, but I don't know enough yet. But I'll let you know once I learn more about etymology. Okay, so yeah, I'll do 5 minutes of those. Then, to end my session, I will do slow drawing practice. I think I got this image from a YouTuber named Brooke Eggleston. He has a channel called Character Design Forge. Um, and I think he introduced this exercise in which it's called slow drawing. What you try to do is you try to stay within the bounds of the you try to stay within the bounds as you go through. So I'll show you. And I kind of messed up here. I kind of messed up here too. But you try to draw slow enough and stay within the bounds to do that. And I'll do that for 5 minutes. Sometimes what I'll do is I will, after I do an up, I'll start at the top and then go to the bottom. And then eventually I'll like flip it. So like I'll be doing it, I'll do like, I'll flip this thing like 90 degrees. I'm going to write this down real quick. But yeah, I'll try to vary it. I could even turn it diagonal if I wanted to. But the whole purpose of it is to warm myself up to various drawing aspects and line things. Now you could, I would say take all of this with a grain of salt. You very may want to make your own drawing routine instead of following mine. But I would say having some warm-up routine for 25 minutes could be a really good thing. I think it's what I need. I feel like more experienced artists may only need maybe 15 minutes or maybe less, or maybe they can just jump in right away. When I say drawing warm-up routine, I mean I just do this once a day. Like when I first start drawing for the day, I'll do this. That's kind of how I get into the flow of things. I just made this myself. I kind of hacked it together to get it to work. It may not work for you. You may have to modify your routine over time. But just know that I'm sharing this with you so it can try to help you, not harm you. But you'll have to be the own judge of your warm-up routine. But I highly recommend a routine. Some structure is better than none at all. And hey, you get to do a bunch of drawing and it could be really therapeutic. So keep that in mind. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have a question, please ask in the comments. But yeah, thanks for listening. Bye.